Lower interest rates definitely do help you participate and give you a better chance of participating in the marketplace of anything really that needs financing. But that's not to say that it makes it more affordable. So let's not confuse the two. In today's video, 80% of people polled think low interest rates are causing housing prices to go up, and mortgage debt. How much are we talking in terms of mortgage debt? That and more in today's video. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, you can find my contact info in the description box with regards to my Gmail, my Instagram, and my office. Feel free to go find the contact info and get in touch with me if you have any questions with regards to anything talked about in this video, previous videos, or if you have any general inquiries with regards to the Toronto/GTA real estate market. Lastly, as I always say, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Your support in that regard is greatly appreciated as always. However, as I say, you're not obliged to do so whatsoever. Feel free not to do any of that. But if you happen to find my content informative, enjoy it, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get to the point of today's video, which is mortgages and mortgage debt and what Canadians think of low interest rates and how it may be impacting housing prices, and some other information with regards to their general sensibilities in terms of commuting to work, working from home, and the general consensus or lack thereof with regards to any of these topics. As a brief background, you may not know or you may know, the Bank of Canada obviously lowered the overnight rate to 0.25% at the beginning of the worldwide event. And I always apologize that I have to speak in code in that sense. But if you know what I'm referring to, the rate was lowered to 0.925%. Now, rates on average right now at the current moment of recording of this video, which is the last week of August, are a little above in terms of what's available on the market in terms of mortgage lending rate. They're still a little above all-time highs that we saw earlier and late last year. But nonetheless, when we take into the historical context into account, right now rates are very much so low, even though once again, yes, they are a little above what they were earlier this year. And prices of all types, and in this channel, I talk very specifically down to the block, down to the property type, to at large in general. So we're gonna go take the at large in general look for now. Prices have increased substantially during this period, wherein if we take a look at, April 2020 to March 2021, where, towards the latter end of that time frame, we were speaking of very hot market. I mean, steaming hot market, where it started to dip after March into April a bit, maybe 2 weeks into April. We still had that hotness. Now, ever since April, if you've been watching my videos, I've been telling you market's still strong, but it's definitely softened a lot. But during that period, housing prices shot up 230%. And a very interesting survey was recently conducted by Zoocasa, and they actually published the results now. As a matter of methodology, I always look at the methodology. If you saw my earlier video where I was talking about this top 10 list, I looked at the methodology and it was very off in a lot of senses, and I dug into the numbers. So I did the same here. These results are only based on 1,400 people surveyed. That's not that large of a sample size. It's actually quite small. If I'm incorrect with regards to that, please feel free to correct me in the comments. But based on 1,400, you have to take this with a grain of salt. I'm not sure how much it corresponds to reality. I'm not saying sentiments will be exactly the opposite, but 1,400, just keep that in mind. That's not that large of a sample size. But when asked if these low interest rates have shot up prices and had an influencing factor, 80% of people said yes, they believe it has had an impact. That's quite lopsided because the remainder is only about 20%, which was divided between disagree and other options. But what was not as lopsided and pretty contentious was the following question, which was, do you believe low interest rates have helped people get introduced into the market and get involved with the market? Now, that's not how they exactly phrased the question. That's just my paraphrasing of the question. However, that was the general sentiment behind the question. Do you believe the lower interest rates have helped on the buying side of things? There, 47% agreed and 34% disagreed. 47% of the people said, yes, we believe the lower interest rates have helped. Obviously, 34% said, no, they don't believe it has helped. And the reality of the matter is, in my frank opinion, looking at the numbers and as a real estate agent who works with buyers of all types, first-time home buyers, second-time home buyers, real estate investors who have large portfolios, sellers as well, landlords, tenants, all types, I must say that from my experience, I believe that lower interest rates have helped buyers get involved in the market. However, it has not made it more affordable. See, those are two things we have to distinguish, right? Lower interest rates definitely do help you participate and give you a better chance of participating in the marketplace of anything really that needs financing. But that's not to say that it makes it more affordable. So let's not confuse the two. And that's exactly what my experience has been. I have dealt with a lot of first-time home buyers more than ever I have in the past. This year, maybe it has something to do with my general audience, growing up, people who are most likely to contact me. Interestingly enough, on the selling side, my clients tend to be way older, in the 50s, 60s. On the buying side, my clients tend to be a bit more youthful. So I'm not quite sure what to attribute the youthful nature of my buyers on average this year too, whether it's a combination of all these factors. But one factor involved could potentially be, yes, lower interest rates are helping younger buyers or buyers who are not that young, but maybe are first-time home buyers get involved in the market. But that does not mean things have become more affordable. When the market was astoundingly hot in February, March, and 2 weeks into April, and even up to this point, but way less so, bidding wars were very much so aplenty and rampant across the market, and it was very difficult to navigate the market with buyers while avoiding bidding wars. So what was the case was a lot of buyers getting involved in the market more than ever, but at the same time, limited supply, a lot of buyer competition, and a lot of bidding wars, which gladly I was able to avoid with my buyers. Not all the time. There were a couple of times where we had to get involved in bidding wars, but most cases I was able to ask them to be patient so we can go through exclusives potentially, or properties that were listed at market value or a little above market value, so we can avoid the rampant competition that existed on the market. Now, in terms of where people work, because proximity to work became a very interesting theme last year and this year, and a very much so a influencing theme of price trends and market trends. 29% said they still work from the offices. 24% said it's a hybrid between home and office, so half the week at home, half the week at the offices, and 19% said exclusively from home. And this once again backs up what I've been seeing via the numbers in terms of all the suburb areas shooting up in prices, both in condo and in freehold property categories. And what I see every day working with buyers more than ever, as I've said in the most recent videos, buyers are becoming more and more flexible as to where they're willing to go. This on top of the low interest rates that they're working with to be flexible in terms of geographic area. The fact that a lot of people nowadays at best have to work from a hybrid situation, 19% from home, 24% hybrid, right? That has caused prices in far east, far west, far north regions of the GTA to go up tremendously so, to the point where out of the 60 total areas that compose the TREB areas, quote unquote, only 6 of those areas do we see an average sold price of less than $1 million year to date, as I covered a couple of videos back. But what's not surprising is what's happening on the mortgage debt side of things, because lower interest rates than ever, buyers involved, bidding wars, prices going up. This has caused record mortgage debt up to the tune of $1.7 trillion in the month of June, which was up 9.2% year over year in the same period. So as we see, the mortgage debt is at an all-time high. Anyways, that's a quick rundown of things. This is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, you can look forward to my Friday video with the condo weekly market update. I have a lot of interesting numbers with regards to the condo market there for you guys. As always, feel free to subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Thank you very much so for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned.